world. Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from us, Apocaflix Movies. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and I am joined today by a two-man crew other than myself, and that is Brian Avalosino and Gio Ramos. What's going on, guys?
Is Keith not coming?
He's taking the day off. I'm assuming he's spending time with his kids, so
all righty then.
I don't know what to call us.
Let's do it.
We're the three amigos, I guess. Three musketeers, whatever you want to call us.
Works for me.
How's it going, Gio?
Good. I'm doing better than Christopher Nolan right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not happy, but hey, there's more important things in the world, right? Other than his film.
Not to him.
Maybe not.
Nolan films are kind of an event film.
They are.
It just sucks that all the theaters are closed.
There's nothing they can do, though. I mean, the worst part about it is that they've already spent millions of dollars on tens of millions of dollars on marketing. So they're going to have to re-spend that money again.
The UFC fight that I just ordered on pay-per-view about 2 weeks ago had Tenet all over it.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Really?
So, it doesn't cost as much as the Super Bowl, but those are not cheap, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that. I mean, he built his hype already.
Yeah, but they're going to have to remarket whenever the movie comes out.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, if it was some other movie, I can only imagine some of these smaller movies getting just like absolutely railed by the fact that they marketed and now
that's true.
It's nothing, but I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan will be fine.
Well, yeah, definitely. And the movie, whenever it comes out, if it comes out during regular times, it's going to make profit for sure. But they spend for a movie like that, they spend over $100 million on marketing at least. So it's going to be tough, but we'll see. And it's our Tuesday edition of Apocaflix Now. This is the first time I'm going to be able to say this. It is Tuesday News Day, and we actually have some movie news to talk about.
Did you just think of that?
No, I've been saying it ever since we decided to do a Tuesday Apocaflix Now. I wrote on the group chat. I wrote hashtag Tuesday News Day, and that's what I'm going to call these days where we talk news on Tuesdays. And I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I love talking movie news, to be honest. I love doing the analytical part of, analyzing these stories and giving our predictions and things like that about stuff. So I'm excited. We're also going to do a little Comic-Con at home preview, the virtual Comic-Con that's going to be going on. But before we get to that, let's get to our movie watching challenge segment. Now, if you haven't already, you can go view on our YouTube channel the review of The Outsiders, the movie that Brian challenged me to, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, which I didn't know when he challenged it to me. Yeah. And we have a full video up that you can go view where Brian and I talked about it. But we're going to show a clip here, though. If you want to check the full video out, go ahead and do that. But Brian, let's go ahead and play that clip. This cast is insane. And I'll say this, you knew I would love this movie, and I really, it's really good, and it's kind of weird movie too. Even though it's really good, it's kind of weird. You don't know where it's going. Who is it focusing on? Who's the main character? Where? And then it finally, near the middle, it starts to, come together and show you what it's really about.
So yeah,
awesome. So yes, obviously I enjoyed it. Thank you, Brian. That was an awesome movie to watch, to be forced to watch, I should say. And if you didn't watch that video already, then you wouldn't know that I challenged Gio. He's the person that I chose to be challenged. And partially, you are being challenged, Gio. And partially because when I thought, I think the last two challenges I challenged were Jake and Keith, and I can't challenge Brian. So I figured, all right, I'm going to challenge Gio. And also there's a movie I really want you to watch, and I hope it's mine.
I thought you challenged me out of love, but it sounds like you just did it by default. So
yeah, exactly.
He's okay. If you don't pick his movie, I need you to pick his movie or Keith's, because they've been picking the same movie almost as long as I've been picking.
Look, if it doesn't
Jacob's
happen
Outsiders.
now, I'm gonna give up and just move on.
So go ahead.
All right. If you don't know how it works, Gio's gonna pick a number 1 through 4. Brian has already randomized the movies, so once Gio picks his number, Brian's gonna tell us what film that is.
All right. I'm going to pick number 4.
All right. The movie you are watching is Jacob's.
Yes.
I think Jacob.
Okay.
I hope that you haven't seen it yet because we've had that situation happen before.
I have not. Is this Mark Webb?
Yes, it is. Mark Webb. I believe it was before he did Spider-Man, a Spider-Man movie. I've literally chosen this movie like maybe the last 10 times you've been challenged. I can't believe it. Finally, Brian, we got so lucky these last 2 weeks.
I know. It's funny.
If I didn't get to choose,
God, I didn't even set that up either. It literally was perfect pick. I was like, sweet.
I'm so excited. Gio, do you know anything about the movie?
It's the movie that got Mark Webb the Amazing Spider-Man, so that's exciting. But other than that, no. Does the movie take place during the summer?
No. So it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel, and Zooey Deschanel's character's name is Summer.
I always thought it was just a long summer.
Yeah, no, her name is Summer, and I believe, it explains, the title makes sense once you watch the movie, but I think this movie, and look, you're right, this movie probably did get him Amazing Spider-Man 1 because the best part about those Spider-Man movies is the Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker relationship, a lot of people would say. And this movie has it's a romantic-ish comedy. It has a great relationship between these two characters. And I just think, knowing you, I think it's a movie that you're going to appreciate.
All right. Looking forward to watching it by myself.
So look out early next week for Gio's review on that. We'll do a short video of that with him and I, and then we'll go ahead and do the next challenge on the next Apocaflix now. All right. Before we get to our Comic-Con preview, Gio, do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about our podcasts?
Yeah. So you guys can not only find us on YouTube, we are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. So I do encourage you guys to go to those apps and check us out. We are on there. Also, I encourage you guys to subscribe and also like and comment. We enjoy your interactions. So please do, if you find something interesting that we're talking about, give us a comment. We love to conversate with you. I dare somebody to say something bad about DC because I will go to war with you online. So yes, check us out.
Thank you. Yes, please do so.
Also on
appreciate
Twitch
it
as well.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting we're doing all these new cool things. It's exciting. It's definitely exciting. Absolutely. All right. So let's get to it. And this is probably the least exciting Comic-Con preview we've ever done because there's not an actual Comic-Con. If you don't know already, they're doing what they're calling Comic-Con at home, I believe. And it is basically a virtual Comic-Con. Look, it's better than nothing, but it's nothing compared to the real thing. Like, even when you don't go to Comic-Con, that week of Comic-Con is so exciting because you never know what's going to happen. You have trailers drop, but essentially they can do the same thing virtually, I guess. But it's just, I guess, not going to be as exciting. And I feel like studios aren't going to put everything they were going to put into a virtual, like whatever they were going to do for the real Comic-Con, they're not going to do for the virtual Comic-Con, I guess. But yes, Rachel's coming at you.
Do it. That's Sidious would say, do it.
Oh yeah, and of course Brian, the Sith over here, encouraging the madness. But yes, so basically what we're going to do, we're going to look at these panels day by day, these virtual panels day by day, and kind of talk about what our anticipation is and what we're looking forward to. So one thing that's not exactly on the schedule is a Godzilla versus Kong trailer. Like it's there. I don't think there's a Godzilla versus Kong panel on the schedule per se, but who knows? this is going to be, even though it's not really happening, this is going to be the time of year where everybody's looking for some great trailers, some great content, some great news. So even if they're just announcing it online or showing it online, I feel like studios are going to take this opportunity to capitalize on the Comic-Con name and just use that buzz to hype up their stuff. So there was a toy that showed a Godzilla versus Kong image a couple days ago, and I guess that showed a little. They were fighting on a what are those things? The military bases in water,
the aircraft carrier.
Yeah, they were fighting on an aircraft carrier, which would not. They would sink that thing first of all. But I think it was just for the toy, I suppose. But I can't freaking wait for that.
And there was an image.
It was an image, but they were still on top of it. I don't think that's actually going to be in the movie.
I don't think they were on top of it. I think they were standing in the freaking ocean. And
were they? And it was just around
it. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
I think it was just like showing the colossal size of them.
Yeah, and they definitely made, even in Kong Skull Island, they made Kong huge, way bigger than he's ever been. But is he really the same size as Godzilla? I don't know.
I mean,
in the movie, John C. Reilly says that he's just a young Kong.
Oh, that is
grow even more.
Yeah.
Gio, that is a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, Gio. I think people forget that because I heard other people online saying there's no way that Kong from Skull Island is as big as the Godzilla in King of the Monsters. But that was 50, 70 years ago or something like that? It was during the Vietnam era, right? So it was like 60 years ago.
Right about
there.
So 50
if
years.
He's grown, that's smart, like planting seeds for them. That's pretty smart. But do you guys think we're going to get anything Godzilla Kong?
Probably. I mean, it's a great opportunity for the studio. I mean, there's not a lot of competition in this Comic-Con atmosphere that they're doing. I mean, Jake and I got to go last year and it was insane. Insane. Like I would be there if it wasn't for what's going on. But a lot of studios aren't doing stuff this year, even presenting on the Comic-Con platform. So, I mean, you could kind of take this opportunity this year, and I think it would be a smart play for some of these studios to do it like that, because you are now getting everyone to experience a little taste of what Comic-Con could be by doing it online. So, I mean, granted, it is nowhere near the same, but you still can get that excitement going a little bit. So, I think we'll get one. I really do.
What about you, Gio?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be different this year because Marvel and DC, they typically own Hall H, except there's not going to be a Hall H. There's not going to be anything. There's not going to be any convention.
No.
And I think it's been reported that Marvel is out, right? They're not doing anything on Comic-Con. No. We know DC started their own DC fandom event. That's going to happen in August. So this would be the opportunity for Kong versus Godzilla to do at least a teaser trailer and maybe the director talk about the movie a little bit. I don't think that they should do a full lengthy trailer because you don't know when this movie is going to come out. I think it's November, right? The release date is this November or December.
Yeah, I mean, nothing
was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not clearly.
Yeah, I honestly think it'll get pushed. I think we're looking at a summer 2021 release date.
Yeah,
and so you don't want to repeat what other movies have done in the past, where they didn't know the pandemic was coming, but they spent a lot of money on the marketing already, and now they're going to have to remarket their movies whenever they eventually come out. So I think a teaser trailer would be fine. Some more concept art, get some of the filmmakers to talk about the movie. I could see something happening this weekend.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I don't care how disappointed I was in Godzilla versus King of the Monsters. It's Godzilla versus Kong. I'm gonna be so excited for this. Honestly, I can't freaking wait. Oh, and Rachel's letting us know that Godzilla versus Kong is May 21st, 2021 now. Okay. So it was November, though, at this year at one point. It was. And I do think if there was no pandemic at all, they might drop something like, you know how Batman v Superman did their Comic-Con trailer? And what was that? That was about a year, a little less than a year away. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they would drop one, but you're right, Gio. This might get pushed again, but I doubt it. Maybe not. Who knows? But so let's look at these, what we do know is happening each day. So we know Thursday there is and it's not MCU, but it's Marvel, I guess 20th Century Studios Marvel, and that is New Mutants. They have a virtual panel at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we also have The Boys Season 2 panel at 6 p.m. Eastern. So let me ask you, Gio, which of these excite you more, or which one are you looking forward to? Are you not looking forward to one of them?
I was surprised because I thought I'd say The Boys Season 2 hands down, but the fact that the New Mutants has been delayed so much and we've been waiting for this movie, I'm just like, man, the possibility of a Disney Plus announcement, like throw it on streaming, I don't know. I think that's very much a possibility. But to answer your question, I'm going to go with The Boys Season 2. That was such a surprise, and I was late to the party. You guys, both you, Brian and Jacob, like recommended The Boys. You knew I'd love it because I'm just a sucker for those grounded, violent comic book, movies or shows. And the Boys is just fantastic. It's incredible. I can't wait to see where it goes. And the fact that we know it's coming. This won't be a theatrical release, and maybe it gets pushed. This is coming, and I cannot wait. So The Boys Season 2 for sure.
Yeah, Brian knows how much I love The Boys. It is fantastic. To be honest with you, so The Boys Season 2 came out early 2019, and then The Mandalorian came out a little bit later. And I would have, if I was forced to choose, I would say that The Boys was my favorite season of television last year. That's how much I love it. And I'm a huge Star Wars. I mean, I'm wearing a Fandalorian Club shirt and we do a show about it. I love The Boys Season 1 so much. It completely surprised me. And I love Carl Urban on the show. I love the Homelander character. And it's funny because, the Homelander character is a villain, but it's like, you're just as invested in him as you are with the heroes of the show. And it's just crazy. So I'm excited for that.
Scary, man.
Oh, he is. He's intimidating. He really is. He's kind of like what was that James Gunn produced movie? Where the little kid Superman. I never saw it, but where he went to, it's kind of like if that kid grew up to become.
Oh my God.
Oh, Brightburn.
Yes, Brightburn. Yeah,
there it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So what about you, Brian? What are you looking forward to? And of course I'm looking forward to New Mutants, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it. So
I'm actually picking New Mutants because I don't think Disney allows them to do this if they're not going to drop it on streaming, because then it looks stupid for them to go out of their way to do a Comic-Con panel to essentially promote this movie only for them to pick a day to drop it in the middle of this. It doesn't really make sense. And Rachel's throwing that out there. I hadn't heard that, but I would not be surprised.
See, I was thinking if they did, it would be in September, maybe. But if they did it like right away, like streaming on Monday or something, or Friday, streaming. If they said streaming tomorrow, people would lose their minds.
To me, there's been too many signs that this movie is going to drop. This panel, we also had like a little teeny new teaser trailer with some new footage that came out a week or two ago. And now this, I think I already said it, the panel. This movie has been sitting in limbo for years. There's no rhyme or reason for Disney to put them on a panel if they don't have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. They're spending marketing money.
Yes.
And again, just like we talked about with Tenet, like, why would you spend marketing money to go to waste?
Yeah, and I know it's a Fox product and whatever, but Disney's in charge of it now. Disney's the one that's doing this type of stuff. Yes, it's Fox's project, but they're not going to spend their own money on something like New Mutants if they're not going to release it. But
and let's be honest, New Mutants isn't going to make a ton of money at the box office.
Well, and it's not gonna,
you don't know that.
I think it would bring in a good amount, but at the same time, this allows them to be like, hey, here's some Marvel stuff. It doesn't mean anything for our universe, but like, here's a little bit to tie you over. But I mean, it makes no sense for them to be doing something like this without a plan to drop it. None. And if they think they're going to start, Disney's not stupid. They're not going to plan to drop a movie sometime between now and the end of the year. And especially this movie that's been pushed back 6-7 times. I would bet anything that this movie is going to drop on Disney Plus sometime soon, or even Hulu, maybe even Hulu, because they don't want it on Disney Plus. But it's for sure going to drop. They're not going to assemble this cast after X amount of years to just be like, hey, the movie's still coming. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and what I was saying is like an MCU proper film is almost a guaranteed 600 million at the box office. Their lowest grossing film since Avengers was probably Ant-Man, and that made over 500 million at the box office. So their movie, and I don't think this movie is a guaranteed 600 million. I think it's probably ceiling is like 4 or 5 if it's really good. But so I don't think they're not going to release Black Widow on streaming. I'll put my life on it. They won't do that, but they could release this movie. And the only thing is, I don't know if you guys know this, but currently before Disney bought Fox, they already had contracts with HBO for the streaming rights for New Mutants. So technically, if right now, HBO has the streaming rights to New Mutants. So it would go to HBO or HBO Max. But Disney could make a deal with them and pay them off to get the streaming rights back. So that's possible. But this movie would have so much buzz if they drop it on streaming this weekend. Everyone would be talking about it.
Yeah, it's something's coming from it. It's coming out soon. Within the next month, it'll be out. I'm almost willing to bet on it.
I hope so. I'm excited. I want something new to watch, so I'm excited. I hope it does. So Friday, what we know for sure is coming is a panel dedicated to Charlize Theron. It's called Charlize Theron: Evolution of a Badass, an action hero career retrospective celebration with her at 1 p.m. Eastern time. This is funny because we just did our Charlize Theron rankings. So it feels like we already did our own little celebration of Charlize Theron.
We had our own Comic-Con panel.
And there's also a first look at Hulu's Hellstrom. I didn't even know they were making this series, and it's a Marvel property, and it actually sounds really cool.
I thought it got canceled. I knew it was being done, but I could have sworn somewhere that it got canceled. But if it's not, then all right, give it to me. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, so this is like what it is. So it's as the son and daughter of a mysterious and powerful serial killer, Hulu original Hellstrom follows Damien and Anna Hellstrom and their complicated dynamic as they track down the worst of humanity, each with their own attitude and skills. I think that sounds pretty cool. I don't really know much about these characters, but I'm excited for that. Gio, do any of these excite you?
Definitely the Charlize Theron career retrospective, but I don't know. They're making it sound like she's retiring. Like
I know what I wonder what
this is. Top of her game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know that's interesting, but I mean, yeah, she has had a pretty good 5 years as an action hero. So I'm gonna check that out. There's nothing else for me to watch. I'm gonna watch everything on this thing. Like,
yeah, so. Me too.
Awesome. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm curious about this Hellstrom.
Yeah, me too. I mean, anything superhero comic book, I'm curious about.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious why. Because I'm assuming this is not part of the MCU.
So I don't know what's going on because I saw some headlines that or some articles saying that it's in the MCU, and I was like, no, I don't think it is. It's kind of like how they said the Netflix shows are, or how Cloak and Dagger is. They're really not, though.
Loosely tied to the MCU.
Yeah,
if anything,
it's like they can say they are, but the movies don't acknowledge anything that happens in it.
Well, I mean, I'm reading through it, and it sounds like it's like Gio said, loosely. Here's what it'll. That's 100% exactly why I was thinking she was going to be. That's literally where I was about to go.
Oh yeah.
Hey, those of you watching Old Guard is really good. Check it out.
Is really good. But with this Hellstrom, I bet you what they'll do is if it goes really well and becomes popular, then they'll be like, yeah, it's in the MCU. And then if it's a stinker or whatever and doesn't really matter, they'll just be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and just go like,
yeah, it's possible. I think they might have been working on this before Kevin Feige became president of all Marvel, so he's in charge of comics and TV. So, and it doesn't say that he's a producer on it.
No, because at one point this was supposed to be paired with a Ghost Rider show.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think it is because it would be a Kevin Feige produced thing if it was in the MCU.
Yeah, it was Jeff Loeb. So I mean,
yeah, okay, yeah, it's not in the MCU.
I'm sure if it is, or if it becomes a big success, they'll be like,
yeah, they could always say it is because I'm sure it doesn't contradict anything. But
fans would be pissed if Marvel acknowledged that Hellstrom is in the MCU and not like Daredevil or Jessica Jones.
Well,
I think that's a fair point.
It's a fair point, but this one kind of, I mean, those were already done before the Fox buyout. This
great.
This one is new under Hulu, which Disney controls. So it's like we'll see. I have a feeling more than likely it won't be.
I don't think so either.
Because it's classified as a drama, science, fantasy, horror superhero show.
Yeah, and as much as I love that Daredevil show, like unfortunately, I don't think they'll ever make those canon in the MCU because for multiple reasons, but also Mahershala Ali was Cottonmouth on Luke Cage, and now he's going to be Blade in the MCU. They could just not care about that and just, who cares? Just do it. But
no, that was his twin brother.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All they need to do is just pick,
or they could say, forget everything, just Daredevil's coming into the MCU, and that's it. All the other shows weren't canon.
No, what they can do is they can literally just pick up Charlie Cox's Daredevil, pick up Punisher by John.
Oh yeah, I would want Punisher, and I wouldn't mind Jessica Jones character in the MCU as well. Yeah, and look, I'm telling you guys, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness can change anything that happened. Unfortunately, that could be a good or bad thing, but they can do anything they want with that movie. And the end result be, random characters from different universes ended up in the regular timeline now. And one of those could be Daredevil. They could be whoever they want in any recent shows they've done. So, all right. So Saturday we have a Constantine 15th anniversary with Keanu Reeves and Francis Lawrence. A lot of people are speculating that they might do a sequel to the original. And we also, another Keanu Reeves thing, Bill and Ted Face the Music has a panel at 6 p.m. Eastern. So what do you guys think of these?
So Saturday is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I haven't seen either. So you can just knock me out of this one.
Let me tell you, Constantine is a really good movie. It's been a couple years since I revisited it. I'm going to do that this week just because I forgot that this is coming up. But boy, man, if they announce a sequel, oh my god! And it's somehow
can it somehow tie into the DCU?
It could, because
that's the speculation.
Flashpoint.
That's the speculation. Oh yeah.
But I'm saying, like, is there anything in the original movie that could help tie into? I don't know anything about Constantine or
no. This was years before Man of Steel, about 2005, I want to say. But man, go watch Constantine if you haven't seen it, man. That movie so underrated, and one hell of a cast in there. I'm excited for that. I don't follow Bill and Ted. I don't have any connection with that, but definitely Constantine. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm interested. I like the Constantine character. I watched a lot of him in the Arrowverse and things like that. But I'm curious, Gio, so I didn't know this because I've never watched Constantine all the way through the movie, but I heard that the Lucifer Morningstar character is in the Constantine movie. Do you recall that character?
Wait, which one?
Lucifer.
Yeah, he's in there.
He's in there? Okay. Does he have a big role?
Yeah, no, sort of. I'd say about he has a role in there. It's not a small role, but it's not a big role either.
Oh, okay.
But man, Tilda Swinton's in there. I think Rachel Weisz is in there.
Oh yeah, I believe she is. Yeah.
Jacqueline Hansu, Shia LaBeouf. Man, dude,
wow.
This movie, watch it. Man, Keanu Reeves is perfect for Constantine.
That would be awesome. And what they like I was saying with Doctor Strange, with Flashpoint, they could do anything too. They can bring if they bring the Michael Keaton Batman into the DCEU somehow, even whether it's just for that movie or anything else going forward, they can do that with the Constantine character also. Dude,
imagine an HBO Max limited series with cinematic budget. Oh my God, with Keanu Reeves, man.
And who's to say you can't have Michael Keaton's Batman interact with that Constantine? And they have tons of interaction. They do the Justice League Dark stuff there's a lot of those animated films. They all have Batman in them. So you could do anything. I'm excited about the idea of that.
This is perfect. Fans wonder, like, hey, how can we get Keanu Reeves into the MCU or DCE? Well, he's already in the DCU. There you go. Right there.
Yeah, basically everything is canon in DC, which they could make canon in DC. And look, these are comic book movies and superhero movies, and this is the kind of stuff that the comics were based on, like the kind of stuff that made the comics what they are. So I'm okay with it as long as you have fun with it and you can do it right. And Bill and Ted, I remember watching the Bill and Ted movies when I was a kid. I don't have any special connection with them, but I remember watching them as a kid, and I'm just excited to see Keanu do comedy. We haven't seen him do well. Actually, he was in was it Won't You Be My Maybe? Always Be My Maybe. He was hilarious in Always Be My Maybe. So that's the last time we saw him do comedy. So I don't know how he's gonna play the same character from Bill and Ted again, but I'm a little bit excited for that movie just because I want to see Keanu Reeves do some comedy for sure.
I haven't seen any of Bill and Ted, any of that stuff, but Jake, I know, was freaking out when that trailer dropped.
Yeah, I remember the first one, especially as a kid, and I enjoyed it. It's pretty cool because they do time travel stuff and they see different historical figures and things like that. So it's pretty funny for sure.
I agree with Rachel. Keanu Reeves was a little too clean cut in Constantine. Plus, they tried to make him quit smoking, which did not sit well with fans. That was the thing in the movie.
That was the Constantine character.
Yep. That was the thing that they played on that, him trying to quit smoking. So, dude, I'm telling you both, check out the movie. It's 2 hours. It's DC fun, supernatural.
I think it's on the DC Universe app.
It is?
It is. Yeah.
Dude.
I saw it on there.
Hey, I'm coming by. We're gonna watch that movie. All right, I'm gonna show up at your house at 11 o'clock at night. Okay, we're gonna watch it.
Hey, that's how you'll celebrate your 30th birthday, watching Constantine.
Don't be telling people I'm 30.
Yeah,
I meant years later. Come on,
like me. Welcome to the old person club. No, I'm
I
kidding.
wasn't talking about this year, but yeah. All right. So we do have some movie news to get to, but before we get to that, what are we doing this Friday on Apocaflix Now, Gio? Anything exciting?
Oh, yeah. So, in case you guys haven't followed us or checked this out, we do a movie watch along every month where each of us are assigned a streaming service and we pick one movie and you guys vote on those movies that we have selected. And no surprise, zero surprise, this month, The Dark Knight won. And we will be watching The Dark Knight this Friday on Hulu as a squad. It's also fitting because this past week, I believe, was the 12th anniversary of The Dark Knight. So it kind of fits
Pretty close. Yeah.
the time. But yeah, we will be watching The Dark Knight this Friday. Come watch it with us. Come watch it with me. Okay? Let's have a blast. And,
Yeah, we're just going to have Gio watching it. That's it.
We're going to all mute it and just sit in the aura of Geo in The Dark Knight.
I'll be telling you guys, do not talk over the movie. I will shut you up. Okay.
I feel like you're going to be the one we're going to tell to shut up because you're going to want to talk during the movie.
Maybe.
Yeah. Don't even. You're going to be like, all right, did you know in this scene that da 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 da? And I'm going to be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's
excited.
definitely
I can't
going to be
wait.
a fun one.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, so it's time for Tuesday News Day. Let's get to it. So first up, we have something that I'm actually really excited about, and that is the Russo brothers are under their production company. I think this is going to be their third movie that they've made, and they're going to be directing Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans in a movie called The Gray Man, and this is set to be Netflix's biggest commitment, with an above $200 million budget. And so Joe Russo worked on a screenplay adaptation of the 2009 Mark Greaney novel, and he worked with none other than Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the writers of a lot of their MCU films. And this is basically the synopsis. So the action thriller follows a CIA operative turned freelance assassin named Court Gentry, who is known as the Gray Man. Gosling will play Gentry, who is hunted across the globe by his former CIA cohort, Lloyd Hansen, played by Chris Evans. This sounds amazing.
Wait for this movie.
This sounds absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna look. Their last two movies that they produced was 12 Bridges and the Extraction movie. Is it called Extraction on Netflix? So the Chris Hemsworth one. So those movies weren't directed by them, and those movies weren't, as far as I know, I don't think they were written by these guys either. Look, this Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and this plot and these guys directing and these writers, I'm 100% in.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait. I was sold on the cast. Then you tell me the plot line with Ryan Gosling being the bad guy and Chris Evans is hunting him down. Give it to me now.
Wow. I'm so glad you both love Captain America, the Winter Soldier. That's awesome because it sounds exactly like that movie. Check this out. CIA thriller based on an adaptation from Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, directed by the Russo brothers with Chris Evans. That is exactly for the most part, the Winter Soldier, but this is going to be incredible, man. Like we know what the Russo brothers can do for Chris Evans, right? They took the Captain America character, made him a total badass. Imagine what they're going to be able to do with Ryan Gosling, an actor like Ryan Gosling, and seeing just how, vast his acting abilities are. It's going to be incredible, man. I can't wait. And Netflix, way to go, man. They are king as far as the streaming service goes. There is no war. It's Netflix and everybody else, at least for now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Netflix
you could say other ones have better shows individually, but as far as how long they've been doing it and how much content they put out, they're the kings of streaming until somebody knocks them down.
Yeah, which is going to be Netflix. I feel like Netflix is going to have to shoot themselves in the foot in order to fall.
No, just next year the Snyder Cut. It's gonna.
HBO Max is not going to ever overpass Netflix. Sorry.
I will say though, HBO all time, their shows are the most quality ever. Just if you consider what they've been doing since the late 90s and things like that, it's crazy. But
The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, Snyder Cut. Man.
Okay, I don't.
Entourage. I just started watching one of their old shows called 6 Feet Under, which I never watched, and I'm really enjoying that. So they got a ton of stuff too. But as far as quantity, Netflix is. I heard something like they're releasing over 60 original things in July. 60.
Jesus.
That's it. Some streaming services, they do one every once in a while. When's the last time Disney Plus did an original thing?
The director's cut of Mandalorian.
Yeah, that documentary thing.
Yeah. Dude, I'm
or Artemis Fowl, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
Brian's favorite movie of the year.
Worst movie of all time.
But yes, I can't believe this is going to be a Netflix movie. This should be on IMAX. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The times are changing, man. I'm telling you, streaming services are gonna plus this pandemic, movie theaters.
Guys, can we all get together and whoever has the biggest screen and surround sound, let's all get together and watch this movie.
Jake, now that he has his own place, the clock is ticking to get a projector. So,
Okay, yeah, because we got to watch this. You got to be with some friends. You got to be eating snacks, and you got to hear it and see it the best way possible. So I can't wait. So next up is we have news on the Grease sequel movie called Summer Lovin'.
Prequel.
Oh, did I say sequel? Yeah. So Grease.
I was reading the notes because I was like, wait, what the hell? They're doing a Grease prequel?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Oh, yeah. Here, check this out. So it's a Grease prequel called Summer Lovin'. It finds its director, Brett Haley, who directed Heartbeats Loud, which I've never seen. But basically it's this. So Summer Lovin' will explore the events in the song Summer Nights, including Danny and Sandy's first meeting, as well as the steamy summer that followed. Paramount is high on the project because it thinks they can launch a franchise. Doesn't every studio think they can make everything a franchise?
Franchise agrees.
But what the heck? So they're making a movie based on the song, the story they tell in that song. Gio, what do you think of this, man?
Well, a franchise. So it's gonna be like a post credits.
Yeah, exactly.
John Travolta de-aged or something. I don't know. But I mean, this sounds fun. I watched Grease a lot as a kid, more times than I wanted to, because all my aunts loved Grease, and we only had one TV in the house. So, I'd be playing with my action figures, and Grease would be playing on the freaking television. But it's tough to say because I haven't seen Heartbeats Loud, so I don't know the director. But the fact that Paramount is excited about it, franchise potential, has to be a good sign. Grease, I don't know if that's a movie that you can remake and it have the same kind of magic that it had back then. I mean, try to find a dancer who's as good as Travolta, in his young days. So I don't know. I have to see more. I have to see more before I get too excited for it.
Yeah, when you have a mom who would stay home and watch movies a lot, and you see her, you see the movies that she watches. So I watched a lot of Grease as a kid as well, and a lot of Titanic too, I should say. That's probably why I'm such a big Leo fan. But I remember watching Grease so much, and I'm wondering, is this going to be a musical as well? Probably.
It has to be.
Yeah, I would say so. And I'm just wondering it doesn't really matter, but are they going to get actors who can sing, or are they just going to have somebody else sing the songs and dub over it? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, you look at you look at Eurovision. People thought Rachel McAdams was singing all those songs, and she wasn't. She wasn't.
I started watching that movie, and Rachel McAdams is so good in it.
She's great.
She's great in it, and I need to finish it, but she was hilarious in that movie. And it wasn't bad so far. It's kind of silly, but it wasn't bad. But yeah, we'll see. You know who I think would make a great greaser, especially after watching what was the movie I just watched, The Outsiders, and then this reminded me of it. Impression. No, there's other names. I keep wanting to say The Outlaws, but The Outsiders. But Doc Ray Montgomery would make a great greaser, I think. The Red Ranger from Power Rangers, and then he was in Stranger Things.
In everything.
Yeah, I don't know. If this prequel,
this guy needs to be better roles.
If the prequel was directed by the same guy who did La La Land, I'd be really excited. That'd be
Damien Chazelle. That would be cool.
I would be way more intrigued.
Then we would be all buzzing about it. Yeah.
Hey, can I ask Rachel a question?
Sure.
Since Rachel's in, and this can apply to you guys too. What do you think about the theory that I swear the end sequence in Greece is them going to heaven? That I
heard about that.
They died.
They died earlier in the movie.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that theory.
Read it online. The theory about Greece and the in the end when they're in the car and they're going to the sky, is that them not going to heaven?
No,
I don't know.
It's happily ever after.
Oh God.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when that comes out. Brian's most anticipated, Summer Lovin'. All right, so
I didn't even know this existed until 10 minutes ago. So
next,
there you go, Gio.
Oh, so she said nah.
Okay. All right.
Fan theory. We have our fan theories about our Marvel and Star Wars. Why not fan theories about Greece?
Yeah.
The Greece universe. As it's what's coming. Look forward to it.
The Greece cinematic universe franchise.
All right. So our last news story today, and this one actually sounds pretty crazy to me, and it actually sounds really intriguing. So it's going to star Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts, and it's going to be a Netflix film. Again, Netflix killing it. So the film is titled Leave the World Behind and is based on an upcoming novel by Ruman Alam. It's crazy that they start making movies to novels that haven't even been released. That's always crazy to me that they do that. But obviously somebody's already read the novel. So it's going to be directed by Sam Esmail, who was the showrunner for Julia Roberts on Homecoming for Prime Video. So here's the synopsis. So it follows two upscale families, one white, one black, who find themselves sharing a remote vacation home owned by the black couple in the midst of a citywide blackout that has knocked out phones, television, radio, and the internet, so they have no way of finding out what is happening. As strange sonic booms shatter the peace of the countryside and animals start to migrate in strange ways, everyone's mental health begins to disintegrate and issues of race and class become distractions from more alarming things happening around them. This sounds crazy to me. And especially... I love Denzel, and of course Julia Roberts is a icon. So this sounds interesting. It sounds, I don't know what the concept of this is, but it sounds kind of Get Out-ish a little bit in a way.
I get oh crap, I just lost the name of it. That kind of what was the freaking movie Sandra Bullock was in? The Netflix one.
Bird Box?
Oh, I could see that. It's kind of like that too.
Dystopian type-ish feel, except with a little bit more character building. So,
yeah, and I will say the last time they were in a film together was 30 years ago in The Pelican Brief, which is crazy.
I'll take anything Denzel's in. Like,
Gio, what do you think about it, man? Does this sound cool?
Yeah, I like it, man. I like the idea of, some social commentary on, in the middle of a suspense type of flick. And, Julia Roberts, Denzel, come on now. It's no, I mean, nobody in their right mind would be not excited about that. And this will be a Netflix, again.
Another Netflix film, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. And did they say the budget for this one? What is it like?
No, they didn't say.
It can't be. It's not 200 million, I guarantee that. But it
probably like 100 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Denzel's probably getting 30.
30.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's going to be 40, and then 20 to make the movie.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, you give me Denzel and anything, I'm like, okay. As long as it's not like Annihilation. God, that movie was horrible. Come at me. I don't care.
But he wasn't in it. You're just saying anything. You'll enjoy any movie he's in, unless it's like Annihilation.
Yeah, well, because I kind of, when I first started hearing you read it, I was like,
it could, you know what it is? It could sound like that. I see where you get that from. Like,
yeah.
So
I
don't know, man. It sounds pretty trippy to me.
I'm down. I was sold when you told me the 2 actor names, and then now you're going to throw that at me? Okay. I could be scared at home. Even better. Not in the movie theater.
We don't see Denzel a lot lately, to be honest. We really don't.
You don't see her either, other than
we haven't seen her a lot, like at all.
Yeah. So, oh well. I mean, I'm excited. I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point, as long as it's not Artemis Fowl.
If you find out Denzel is the villain in Artemis Fowl 2,
I would say I'm sorry.
He would never do it, but I do think he would make a great Magneto. But we could talk about that another day. Denzel is. We need to appreciate this man more. He is one of our generation's greatest actors ever. It's
easily love
crazy.
That. Love him. I'm excited. Can't wait for it.
Any last thoughts on this, guys?
Netflix.
The sooner the better.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, this Friday, the crew is going to be doing a watch along of The Dark Knight. You can get that. You can watch it on Hulu, or you can pop in your Blu-ray, whatever is best suited for you. Also, don't forget to check out our podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. And again, for Gio, for Brian, for Jacob, we really appreciate you guys joining us, and we will see you all this Friday.